Hello, hello. So we are going to be looking into the case of Dylan Rounds. We are going to start Wednesday, May 25th. Dylan tells his mother about a strange encounter with some guy who was barefoot and bloody along the roadside who wanted a ride to Montello. This person was later identified as Chase Venstra. What can we know about that? What can we know about that in connection to Dylan being missing? The World in Reverse and the Chariot. I don't think that that necessarily has anything to do with him being missing. The World in Reverse is signaling that, like, that was like a separate event that had finished. And then the Chariot signals like something else coming along in terms of his disappearance. I've been a little sick, so if I sound weird, bear with me. So then we have Thursday, May 26th. ECSO verified that Dylan was in Montello. And that was also the day of his last phone call with both mom and dad. What was his energy that day? Queen of Pentacles in reverse, Seven of Cups in reverse, High Priestess in reverse. He was trying to focus on something, but was having trouble focusing on something. It was like something that he knew he needed to focus on, but there was something else besides that that was distracting him. It likely had something to do with, I mean, I know it does say bank account usage. It's something financial that he had to deal with, but he was distracted or otherwise preoccupied and was having trouble focusing on whatever that issue was. Friday, May 25th, eyewitness unconfirmed sighting of Dylan. It says information relayed from police to the family, but with changing stories cannot be reliable. What can we know about that eyewitness sighting? Is it an accurate sighting on the 27th? Was it Dylan that was sighted on the 27th? Six of Wands. Three of Swords. I believe that this person thinks that it was Dylan, but it was not actually Dylan, but it was someone that resembles him. So it's not that someone was lying, is what I'm saying. Like, they believed that they saw him, but I don't believe it was him. Saturday, May 28th, 6:51 a.m., a phone call took place between Dylan and his grandma. He told his grandma he had to get his grain truck put away in the shop at a location 5 miles west of the farm to keep it away from the rain, and he would call her back. ECSO confirmed via cell phone data he was at or near his farm for this call. Ten of Pentacles in reverse and the Tower. Yeah, there was something going on financial here. Either he was stressed about like paying back some kind of debt, or he was stressed about, it could be the energy that he was expending to get all of this up and running, just like a feeling of overwhelm or anxiousness, hoping that he gets back what he put out pretty much. But what else can we know about this Tower card? Was the Tower that something happened when he went to do this? Is that what the Tower's about? The Devil. Page of Swords in reverse. Something happened that, so it says when he went to the location 5 miles west of his farm. So he was stressed about something and preoccupied, but something bad happened there. The Page of Swords in reverse is about all talk, no action. So it's like, it could have been that somebody said something to him and he didn't think they'd go through with it and then showed up there. That's like an example of what that could mean. But this is something caught him off guard. Something big caught him off guard. Like something dramatic or scary or something caught him off guard, and it was like something that he was not expecting. 2:41 p.m. They released the last cell phone data ping from an app that came from Dylan's phone at or near his farm. What can we know about that last ping? What was going on at the time of that ping? 5 of Swords in reverse. It's about a fair fight. So he was distracted by something of a financial nature that was bothering him. So it could have been that he wasn't all the way paying attention to his surroundings and someone or something snuck up on him that way. Or it could have been that he was not expecting to run into this person or problem at that time. But something did happen at that shop/shed that's 5 miles west of the farm. Something definitely happened there. Something that he was not expecting or planning for. Like, for instance, it wasn't like, oh, okay, I'll meet you over at the shed, and then he met someone there and it went wrong. That's not what I'm saying. Like, there wasn't supposed to be any, this was a problem that he wasn't supposed to have to deal with. Like, it's not something that was like even a potential problem. It wasn't like, oh, I hope I don't go there and have to deal with this. This was something that was a complete and utter not planned shock surprise to him. When that last ping happened at 2:41 p.m., there was some, there was some kind of fight, some kind of struggle happening at that time. 10 p.m. Chase Venstra was seen on camera 200 miles away from Lucin. 10 p.m. So 200 miles away. What do we know about that? 8 of Cups is about moving on, not being in the area. 2 of Wands is about plans falling apart. Or Eight of Swords in reverse. I know that there's updates. I don't know if they've cleared this Chase person, but basically what I'm getting from this is it's possible that Chase was like making, so had some kind of ill will, or was making some kind of plan that was not in Dylan's best interest, or like for Dylan's best interest. but it doesn't seem like he was ready to go through with it yet. It's almost like he was gearing up to say something to him or to do something to him, but he wasn't there yet, like in that stage ready to do it yet. But there is definitely some tension energy between the two of them. But I'm not feeling like at this time Chase was not ready yet to go through with whatever was in his mind for Dylan, at least at this time yet. Okay, I'm skipping ahead a little bit. So essentially the grandma was unable to get a hold of him because he was supposed to call her back. So she called around. They sent people to look for him. They could not find him. I want to skip to the part where, so the family had gone into the trailer. But after that, the key fob to Dylan's pickup truck was returned to Dylan's camp trailer by an unknown person while the family was in Montello, responding to a call that they had got. Oh, so they had got a call from an unknown, received a call from a citizen of Montello, Kurt, who used to work from Dylan, stating Dylan was being held in a specific location by Chase and another gentleman in Montello. Sent out 6 deputies, but he was not there. Okay, so my first question is, was that a distraction to get the family away so that the stuff could be returned to the trailer? But that's kind of a risky move. 9 of Pentacles. Yeah, it was worth the risk. What else can we know about his belongings being returned? 5 of Wands. 2 of Cups in reverse. So essentially, it seems like that call was made to draw the family away from the trailer so that these items could then be returned. It does seem like whoever made that call, because the 2 of Cups reverse is like a breakup or a separation, so it kind of seems like whoever made that call would have to kind of know something about what had happened. All right, let's go to, so the phone pings. Actually, let's not skip that part. So Thursday, June 2nd, family is told they found a drop of blood on the boots that were found, that were returned by one of the suspects. How did that blood get on the boots? Ace of Pentacles. Empress in reverse and 5 of Pentacles. I'm feeling like this has something to do with money. Somebody wanted either an opportunity from Dylan, money from Dylan, for Dylan possibly to connect them to a source of income. Like somebody wanted something from him. And they didn't want to take no for an answer. They weren't good at it hearing no. It set them off when they heard no. But it wasn't like something that Dylan just didn't want to help with. It was something that like he didn't have to give. Like, let's say it was like a job on the farm. It's that he didn't have the work necessary. It's not that he was trying to like shut someone out. It's just that whatever they were asking for, he didn't have. But somebody was like dependent on him for this. Somebody like essentially wasn't willing to take no for an answer. Chase Venstra was arrested on unrelated charges. Let me go to the other suspect. Okay, so let me find the information about the other suspect. Okay, so the other person that was a suspect, it does say that the first man that we just talked about was cleared by police. Now I want to know about James Brenner. What was James Brenner doing in the hour to 2 hours before Dylan went missing? What was James Brenner doing? 10 of Swords. 8 of Pentacles. He was working hard on recovering from something. He was in a bad situation and was trying to figure out how to manage that situation. Almost like a I'll do whatever it takes kind of situation. What happened to Dylan when he went to that shed? Knight of Wands. Two of Pentacles. There was some kind of change that made him have to be courageous. What was that change? Judgment in reverse. And Knight of Pentacles. Somebody was there when he went to that shed. And he had to make a choice. So Dylan goes, he's on the phone with his grandma, says I gotta go do this before the rain comes. Goes and starts this. Starts doing whatever he had to do in the shed. Dylan is kind of distracted thinking about something. So he's going about his business. Somebody comes and sneaks up on him. That person's intention wasn't initially to just go and attack him. That person's intention was to ask him for something. Financial help, a job, a connection of some sort, money, and something like that. And Dylan just wasn't in the position to be able to do it. And he was also distracted by something else. So that he had to make a choice that he wasn't able to help this person. But the person didn't take it well. They were already struggling, essentially this person was like trying to figure out a solution, and the only solution that they come up with would be Dylan's help, whatever help they thought he could provide for them. But when he wasn't able to, things... Hold on 1 second. Three of Pentacles, yeah. So when he wasn't able to help the person or provide them with whatever they were looking for, whether it was money, information, a job, he was like, I'm sorry, I can't. I don't have the means to do whatever he was being asked to do. And the other person had already really been kind of exhausting any other options to the point where they thought that Dylan was the only option. And when Dylan wasn't able to do whatever they wanted, things took some kind of turn. There was some kind of conflict. What happened next? Six of Swords, some kind of transition, some kind of change. They went somewhere. Eight of Wands. It's like Dylan tried to buy time. It's almost like it was like an innocent, not innocent, but like it might have been like a semi-heated conversation at first, but like Dylan picked up on some kind of energy from the other person that alerted him to like danger. Like he realized, okay, this isn't just someone asking for help. This is someone demanding my help, and I'm kind of scared of what's going to happen if I say no, which he had already said. So like he said no, and then he's like, oh crap, this person's actually doesn't look like they're going to take no peacefully, essentially. So it's like he tried to leave, like not stay in that immediate area with the person. Either he's like, okay, let's go here, or let's do this, or let's, you know, move it along. Even if he wasn't necessarily done with what he was doing, he wasn't trying to stay in that location secluded with that person. He was trying to buy time, or like essentially they're kind of secluded. There's not very many people around on the farm, right? It's just probably them for miles and miles. So essentially Dylan was trying to either get to another location with this person, or simply just get enough distance that he could kind of either make a phone call or postpone the conversation for later. But he noticed something wasn't right with the way that this person was handling or accepting the answer he had given to them, that he wasn't able to help. I do feel like this is something about money. This is something either about a job or money. So what happened then? Did they leave the area? Ace of Cups and Two of Swords. So the other person was emotional, and Dylan was trying to maneuver how to best handle those emotions in a way that would allow him to get past and out of this confined area with this other person. I can almost see like Dylan like backing up a little bit, like casual conversation, and then Dylan starting to like pick up on some energies that he's like, oh, this is kind of not, maybe not going a good way. Just like the combination of these cards is like, to me, I can see him like, especially with the two knights. Where's the other knight? Especially with the two knights, it's like, I feel like Dylan started to test the situation where like he kind of took a step backwards, like away from the person, and maybe they took a step towards him. I feel like that's kind of how it started, like little steps of like Dylan showing he's uncomfortable and the other person kind of confirming that discomfort. Like, yeah, you should be uncomfortable right now because I'm not taking no for an answer. What happened next? Did Dylan leave that location with someone or under the instruction of, no, with someone? Did he leave it with someone? And if so, what energy? Six of Cups. Yes, he left with someone or was in direct communication. No, I think he left with someone. But it wasn't under the same energy. It's almost like the other person. So you know how I said Dylan was backing up and the other person was coming towards him to almost like confirm the tension. Somehow the energy shifted. It's almost like the other person saw an opportunity to play friendly again, to get him into a different location or a different atmosphere. So what happened when they left? Ooh. Okay. Seven of Swords in reverse. Ace of Swords. Oh, and the Emperor. So it went from, again, that tension, and then it was almost like the other person was like, oh, I can't pick, this can't happen here. Like, I can't, whatever the other person was planning, it's almost like it started, like they started to go through with some kind of plan or attack, and then they realized, I can't do this here. And so they kind of backed off and played friendly. But I don't think it was like they went their separate ways. I think they went somewhere together. It was almost like Dylan was like, well, I can't help you in this way, but maybe I can help you in this way instead. Like, because at first, Dylan was preoccupied thinking about something else. But then once he realized the danger, he was like, oh, you know what? I better kind of offer something just to get out of the situation. But it's like the other person didn't let them go their separate ways. It was like, okay, you're going to help me now. So Dylan was essentially like, okay, I can't give you option A that you're looking for, but in order to get me safe out of this situation, I'm going to offer you option B, and I'll help you with this way. But the other person was essentially like, okay, but you're doing it right now. You're coming with me now to do it. Like, okay, but you're going to be in my sight until you help me in this way. But it was like, Dylan either wasn't able to fulfill whatever option he provided, or he wasn't able to do it quick enough, or the other person just lost their temper and their patience and wanted to get their power. It's like a roller coaster so far. So it's like the other person has really essentially cornered him, asked him something that they weren't willing to accept a no to, but he was not willing to or not able to give what they were asking for, nor should he have to. I mean, if you're asking somebody, you're not demanding them, you're asking them. But this person was demanding it of him, but forming it like a question. Dylan wasn't all the way realizing the intensity of the situation because he was distracted about something else. But then he kind of picked up on this energy that was like danger. So he started showing, okay, like I'm a little bit, it's just you and me. We're in this space. You're getting a little, all right, what's going on? So the other person at first matched this energy and then toned it down so that they could get him to leave that location with them, providing them with that second option. It's almost like, okay, so I said Dylan backed up and the other person kind of met their energy and met his energy and stepped towards him. It's almost like that happened. And then Dylan had like quick thinking and was like, oh, you know what? I can't do that for you, but I can do this. I can help you in this way. And then the other person, that's when they switched and they were like, oh, you can? Okay, well, you're going to do it now. Then what happened? But the other person remained in control. Somehow they had control over the situation. Page of Wands in reverse. So they had control over the situation, then that's the card, 10 of Wands in reverse. And Death. It's almost like this person had an adult temper tantrum. So somehow this person conveyed their intensity to Dylan. It could have been like a look, like it could have just been a look. It could have been a flash of a weapon, something along those lines. But it was like they put that threat forward to Dylan, but then they acted like, okay, I'm just gonna like play it cool with you, even though I could use whatever that was. So they were kind of using that to try and like get Dylan to be able to help them in whatever way, even though it's almost like this person was like holding him against his will, but trying to make it seem like it was his will to help, if that makes sense. So all of this that I've just said in the last couple minutes is all under the question that I stated about what else can we know about the man Brenner. So James Brenner, 58. What was James Brenner doing the day that Dylan disappeared? Temperance in reverse. Being reckless. Feeling out of control. Disruptive energies. Extremes. Chaos. Okay. So Dylan's made a phone call. We can confirm that call was made based off the cell data. The last cell phone data communication from Dylan's phone was May 28th near his farm. Dylan disappeared sometime after he made that phone call. What happened after he made that phone call? Four of Pentacles. Possessiveness with money. Five of Cups. Regret. Failure. I'm telling you, somebody was trying to either get money, an opportunity, or a connection from Dylan. I don't know if they thought maybe he could give them a job at the farm or connect him with somebody else who had an opportunity, but it was something that Dylan was not able to do at that time or didn't want to. It doesn't matter either way. It's Dylan's choice. But it's like this person was not willing to accept anything else as an answer other than yes. And I do feel like Dylan tried to offer like a consolation, like I'm not able to do this or help you in this way, but this is what I can do. And because he already said no initially, that's like all the other person heard or understood. So once he said no, the other person essentially was using Dylan's niceness to lure him into not a good situation. Why were Dylan's items brought back to his trailer after a certain period of time after the family had already been there? Hangman in reverse. It's about pausing, surrendering. Wheel of Fortune. Somebody knew that they were coming, or that they would be searching where these items were being hidden. So whoever had them hidden had to take them and move them before the police were able to find them in the location that would link these items to the person who did this. So what I'm saying is that the person who is responsible for Dylan being missing had these items somewhere on their property, or even somewhere on Dylan's property. It was just somewhere where the police were getting close to searching. And before they were able to do that, the safe place to put these items would be back where they originally were, because then they can't be linked to that person. And I believe it did say that the items were wiped down and they weren't able to get fingerprints, which that alone right there, I don't know how they're not deeming this suspicious circumstances based off of that alone, let alone other things. But what is the connection between those items showing back up and, what is his name, Brenner? I don't want to get it wrong, 1 second. Yeah, Brenner. James Brenner. What is the connection between those items coming back and James Brenner? Hierophant. A high connection. Think of that in literal terms. A high connection. James Brenner is highly connected to those items that reappeared in Dylan's trailer. What can we know? Portal. Road. Fear. So portal, road, and fear. So as I said, it does seem like he ended up at that trailer with another person, likely this James Brenner, who, in my opinion, entertainment purposes only, I believe that Dylan ended up in that trailer with James Brenner. He had asked Dylan for something that Dylan was not able to provide for him, and, you know, had no responsibility to anyway. Dylan said, no, can't help you. Then realized the danger that was coming from the other person's energy, changed I can't help you to, well, I can't help you in that way, but I can help you in this way, that person said, okay, but you're doing it right now. Started with intimidating him, but then pulled back from intimidating him after realizing I need to get him somewhere else other than here where I have more control of the situation. So started playing nice again to get Dylan to go with them somewhere. And then once they got back on the road, Dylan realized again, okay, I'm probably still in trouble. Maybe they had his phone. The phone did ping like at the trailer and then back up at Brennan's and then back up down at the back and forth. I do believe that that's because Dylan was with Brenner against his will. What else can we know? What can we know about those cards? Nine of Pentacles, Four of Swords reversed. I do believe that the person who did this acted alone. I do unfortunately feel that Dylan has passed. The person who did this is someone who was, upon hard times, hit a wall, believed that Dylan was for some reason their only hope to better their situation, and essentially snapped when that was not a viable option. The person who did this is likely someone who knowingly had a hard time, like lost either their job or maybe struggled with sobriety, something like that. Someone who had been upon a hard time and was trying really hard to get back on their feet, but was being unsuccessful. And for some reason or another, they put Dylan on that pedestal to fix it for him, and he was not able to do that. What else can we know? Get the other deck. You know what? Let's do these. What else can we know? Anything that could help us find him? Perpetrator has behavioral patterns of a serial killer. And look, there's two people in a window. Like I said, he went with the person to a location to try and give them an option B when he wasn't able to fulfill their option A, which, again, he didn't have to fulfill anything. He was just trying to get out of the situation and, you know, lend a hand where he could. Just one more. Okay, two more. Victim stalked by killer. A friend knows something. What can we know about that friend? The Fool. A friend of the killer. It's not a friend of Dylan, it's a friend of the killer. Somebody knows where Dylan is. Somebody who knows, James Brenner knows where Dylan is. Look, it's 2 people on each of these 3 cards. So we have victim was stalked by serial killer. This brings in the element of they were watching him, getting ready to ask him for something. Also confirms them kind of just showing up willy-nilly at this place where they were not supposed to be. That was Dylan's part of his farm. So the other person just kind of was watching and wait. Then they're both in a window. I said they left together to go to the house. It's possible this person has done something like this or similar before. If not, this card is more pointing towards the behaviors of this person. So basically, if it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's a duck. So we're looking at James Brenner being a fit for this situation, being a fit for this perpetrator role. This card is essentially saying that's likely who we're meant to be looking at. And a friend knows something. Unfortunately, this card matches this card. And the messages of a couple other cards. I don't believe they're going to find him alive. I don't think he just upped and walked away. That's not at all what I'm reading in this. I do believe that either James told someone where Dylan is. If he didn't specifically tell someone, then there's someone around or in James's life that could easily put the pieces together and figure out where Dylan is if they just thought about it deeply enough. And if that is you, I implore you to do that. If you are someone who knows James Brenner and you think, I wonder if he could have used this location, you're probably right and you should say something. What else can we know? Are the police close to being able to connect James Brenner to this case in like a solid way that would hold up in court? 8 of Wands. So they're moving, they're making progress, but not quite there yet. Let me just see if I should say what I'm thinking here. So it seems to me like police are waiting to find essentially a body. It's one of those situations where they don't want to charge the case and then have it fall apart from charging it too early because they're not able to find the body yet. I do feel like, I know people are frustrated that an arrest has not been made. I do feel like they have enough information, but not enough proof. So I do think that they're moving along with purpose, trying to gather more information. Like specifically, it's not just that they're looking for any information. It's like they're looking for specific information that will match what they feel about James Brenner. But I don't think they have everything yet. And it's likely that they're trying to find that body to rule out the possibility that he just ran away or went away, which is not what happened. But they're trying to cross their T's and dot their I's, I believe. What can we know about the location that Dylan or Dylan's body is right now? The Hermit and the Fool, both in reverse. Wherever he is, it wasn't the person's first choice of where to put him. It's somewhere that's very... It's somewhere very small, essentially, like, I'm not seeing like a giant room. Like, I'm seeing like a very small space, almost maybe like a cylinder space. Maybe like a well or a tunnel. This is somewhere that he was put in haste. There may have been a plan, maybe not a plan before, but when things started to go a certain way, there might have been a plan, but this wasn't the initial plan. It was like something, he wasn't able to be kept here, so he had to move to this place. And this is like a very... It's like a tunnel or like a well, like a very small... I mean, I guess it could be essentially a little bigger than that, but like, it's not like a full... It's definitely smaller than a full room wherever he is. It's very small. It's either something that is used to contain water, or there's water like right near it. But not like a ocean, like a pond or a man-made lake of some sort. Like, wherever he is, when it's nighttime, it's very dark. Like, there's not a lot of other surrounding light sources. What else can we know about where he's at? Ace of Cups. Three of Swords. Yeah, has something to do with... The ace is making me feel like I was closer with a well. Like a well, or like a, what is that called? Like a pipeline, I guess, but I'm feeling more up and down. Some kind of like cylinder up and down. Because I said that, and then this card came out, and I feel like this is like a confirmation, right? Because that's exactly essentially what I was insinuating and implying. Like, it's okay. So some kind of small, I would say not much further than like an arm's length apart. So very small, condensed, either something that's used to hold or process water, or it's right next to a man-made water source. This was the second option for this person. Like, they were like, I'm going to put him here, we're going to take him there, and then something happened, and this was the second option. I'm going to look up a couple things over here. Okay, so it says that his truck was not pulled in. So essentially he went over to the barn to put the truck inside because the rain was going to come. The truck was left outside. And it was power washed, and the seat was all the way moved up, the driver's seat. So it would be like someone under 5 foot driving it, which he was not. What was all that for? Why was it? Let's start with, why was the truck not put in there? Ace of Pentacles in reverse and Seven of Pentacles. It's like once he got to the barn, he saw something else that he wanted to take care of first. How I said that Dylan was kind of like in his head about something, it was like, you know how when you're like a little stressed out about something and you see something that could be cleaned or fixed or something like that, and you're like, oh, let me do this, that'll make me kind of feel better about this. That's what happened. And in that time, someone else showed up, but Dylan was doing something else that he like added to his list to do first before moving the truck. Why was the truck power washed and the seat put up? Ace of Swords in reverse. And the Sun in reverse. Something happened near that car that the car needed to be washed off. The car was not washed off by Dylan. And the seat moved up was just to throw people off. Like, the seat may have been moved and then moved again. Like, how can I say it? Like, let's say the person was taller, but then got out of the car and put it all the way forward. It essentially was literally just to throw people off. That all was intentional. It was to mislead in the wrong direction. It's almost like they were setting it up to try and make it look like Dylan just left, was like, okay, I'm just going to go start a new life. But then they kind of, in the midst of doing that, maybe that was like the person's initial plan after something bad happened. You know, let's make it look like he just left. But then in the midst of trying to make that happen, they were like, you know what, this probably isn't going to work. That's what these two cards are telling me. What else can we know about what was happening around the time that the car came into the need to be washed? What made it need to be washed? Chariot. The Magician in reverse. And Eight of Cups. Look, manipulation and illusion are two of the words on this card. So the card, all of this was to paint a certain picture. It really was like whoever did this thought that they could make it look like Dylan just let. It was like they were trying to input that possibility of reasonable doubt that, okay, maybe he just left and decided he didn't want to do this anymore and just up and left. It's like they were trying to do little clues here and there to try and put that illusion forth. Yeah, that's really what I'm getting with this. It's they thought that if they could convince, if the scene and what law enforcement, whoever did this believed that law enforcement could be convinced that Dylan had just left based off of certain evidence and clues that the person who did this was purposely leaving, such as the car being washed, you know, just him kind of not answering his family members, all of that. That was uncharacteristic for him, but this person was trying to paint a picture as if Dylan just left. Kind of like a Hail Mary, just like, you know, I'll wash the car, I'll make it look a certain way, I'll make it look like he just left, and hopefully the cops will run with that and stop looking into the case. That's what I'm getting. I'm going to watch a little bit more. So it says that when the family went to the barn that they found his boots 100 yards south of the barn. It's the story of the boots. High Priestess, 7 of Swords, 5 of Wands, and reversed Wheel of Fortune. It's almost like I think that Dylan tried to run away. I think it's like he recognized, either he left with the person and came back or didn't. It's something, but he recognized that even his second option wasn't going to be good enough for this person, and he tried to get away. Even the wheel, it's like he tried to run and was not able. What was happening at that time when the boots got. Blackmail. I'm telling you, it was not necessarily blackmail, but I'm talking about the bag of money here. It was someone trying to get something from Dylan, and Dylan unable or unwilling to provide that for them. Bodied up. It's someone that was presenting it had to be someone that Dylan knew previously, because it's someone that was presenting one way and then it was like a light switch. This person just completely flipped who they were and became this like dangerous individual in that moment. A closer observation of the victim's living space may provide clues. We're talking about the boot that was found on his property. Killer had an argument or disagreement with the victim. So Dylan offers a second option. Hey, I'm sorry, I can't help you with this, but I can do this for you. I can help you with this. The person plays friendly and either gets him to leave, or maybe they're going to leave. Maybe they don't leave, but they are going to leave. And that's when Dylan tries to get away. It may not have been, I'm not saying necessarily that his boots were left there as he was trying to run away. They were placed back there, but it's almost like the person is kind of subconsciously recreating, like, he tried to run and made me do this, essentially, like with the person's actions of putting the boots back there. Because the boots, I believe, were put back with the key fob, or maybe not put back with. There was items missing that showed back up after the family had gone to check on that other tip. Page of Pentacles in reverse. It really, it's, hold on. The Emperor in reverse. So maybe it wasn't that they went somewhere and left. It could have been that, like, he offered him a different option, was making it seem like they're walking to the car together to leave, and then at that point is when something happened, because it was like the other person felt like they were losing control of the situation and had to get that control of the situation back. That's what I'm getting. I'm going to look a little bit more into the case. I'll probably do a follow-up on this. But that's what I'm getting for now. I do not believe that this boy just up and left. I do believe that something happened with that one suspect. I believe it was in response to them asking for guidance, help, a job, money, something, and getting a no, and just basically not being able to handle that. I do believe that Dylan is in a very secluded, narrow location. That is something like a well or a tunnel. Yeah, that's what I got for now.